Okay, basically what we're going to do to begin our framework is we're going to work with two sizes of styrene. We're going to be using your 0.06 by 0.06 square and then some 0.06 by 0.08 just rectangles dimension. The two basic sizes will go ahead and serve pretty much all the basic pieces that we need for the entire framework. There'll be some other pieces that we'll add later, and when those pieces come into play, I will be sure to let you know what sizes those are going to be. Our first pieces, what we're going to do is we're going to cut the horizontal pieces on the top and on the bottom of the billboard frame, and the length they're going to be cut at is 29 scale feet, excuse me. And for those we're going to use the 0.06 by 0.08 dimensional size styrene, and for that we're going to be using the chopper. The one I'm using is the chopper 2, which I prefer over the regular chopper because it has a nice little pad right here that you can replace after the blades kind of wear out where you cut. The chopper 1, it just uses a sheet of masonite, and as it wears out right here under the blade, it really affects the quality of your cuts quite a bit. And so to begin with, first thing I always do is make sure I've got a good square end that I've got. So I'll usually just chop a little bit of the tip off, get the scrap off your blade. And once we've got that, actually it didn't cut up too good. Let's try that again. Go a little slower, not so fast. Okay, there we go. I'll go ahead and slide the piece in. I've already got it set to 29 scale feet, which is just about 2 1/8 inches. We'll cut our first piece, which will be the top and the bottom, and the second piece. And that'll serve for the top and the bottoms. The pieces we've got to cut are going to be the sides, and again we'll need two of them cut with the 0.06 by the 0.08 size styrene. So we can go ahead and cut those, and those are going to be cut to 16 feet, which is just a hair bigger than we'll need, but it gives us a little bit of extra to file, so we've got a good clean edge. So we'll go ahead and cut the two pieces for that. And then on top of that, we're also going to need two pieces cut in the 0.06 by 0.06 size. And so we'll go ahead and do that right now. Go ahead and get a good square edge. And we'll cut those two pieces. Okay, we have all of our pieces now filed to where I feel that they're fairly good. So next up we're going to go ahead and sandwich the four pieces together to form our sides. What we'll start off with is the 16-foot long piece of the 0.06 by 0.08, and we'll sandwich right up to it the same length 16-foot piece, which is the 0.06 by 0.06. We'll sandwich right into it. Anytime I'm working with styrene, I like to use this specific product. I don't endorse it, I just like it. It's the Tamiya extra thin cement. It's the wet stuff with obviously the green lid. Big reason I like it is it has a really fine brush on it. It really helps to control the cement flow, especially with working with small parts. You use some of them like some of the other brands that come with a much larger applicator on them. You tend to just flood the parts with it, and that's when you get your fingers in it and stick it to your workbench and have all sorts of problems. Also, what I'm using is just a basic little stainless steel square to keep everything glued up really well, keep everything nice and square. So what we'll go ahead and do is we'll glue on the first piece, which is the two 16-foot long pieces. The parts for the top, I realized I made a mistake, so I'm going to show you what I did and show you a quick easy way that we're going to do to fix that. So those of you that think I don't make mistakes, This is proving me wrong. I didn't plan this. It actually did happen. So what I basically did is the three little pieces that go across the very top of it, I only cut them in increments of 16 foot, 15 foot, 14 foot, just like the sides. The problem is they're going to be staggered on both ends, unlike the sides where they're only staggered across the top. And so I actually needed to cut them in a 16 foot, 14 foot, and a 12 foot size. So the easy way to do that, what we're going to do is just cut a foot off of the two pieces. So I'll just take my N scale ruler, we'll line it up, we'll get it to be pretty close, lock that in place, and we'll take our two short sections, which I've got right here, that's the longer one, and we'll cut those to size. Probably cut just a little more than a foot off, which is actually fine. On the prototype photo that I'm looking at, it actually looks like it's a little bit steeper of a stagger than it is on some of the other pieces. So that's basically going to give it what we need. Actually, we need to cut another foot off the top one. Excuse me. Let's go ahead and do that. And we'll just quickly take a look at them on there. I'm just roughing them in, excuse me, and it looks like we're good. So basically now what I need to do is I need to round those corners over just like we did on the sides, and we'll be good to go. And so I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then we'll get this frame glued together. All the corners rounded over, so now we're going to go ahead and get that glued up. It's going to be a similar method to how we did before, except this time we can't use the one edge of the straight edge to square everything up. So this way, you can measure it if you want to get it square, but you can get pretty close just by eyeballing it. And I only put glue just on the one side, so I've got a little room to play, and it looks like I just need to move it up just a skosh, and it looks pretty good. Go ahead and get the other side glued in just a little bit right across the seam. We'll get the other portion on. Just make sure we got it cleaned off. There's no fuzzies or anything on there. Get it roughly in. And let's get a little bit of glue on there. Go ahead and run it on the whole thing. Get it all nice and snug. Make sure everything's square. And looking good. Okay, next up we got to take our top piece, which is identical to the bottom piece. And we're going to go ahead and glue this on right onto it. And for this, I'd probably recommend measuring it in. What I'm going to do is just eyeball it, just so I can get it in pretty good and quick. Looks like we actually are pretty good right there. Go ahead and get a little glue on just to fix it in. Make sure we're nice and level and flat. Looking good. Okay, next we're going to glue up the frame, but first we're going to let that dry a little bit.